Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Out of the Fast Lane podcast. I am your host, Brady Hauser, and welcome to today's show. Today we have a very special guest on the show. Before we get going with that, I want to talk about NASCAR. They are returning next week at Darlington. The races are going to be 7 races in 10 days. Darlington and Charlotte, and they're going to be racing every series at least once. And it's going to be pretty cool. I don't know how the format is going to run this year. This upcoming, this return to NASCAR. I don't know how it's going to go. Because, like, with the qualifying and stuff, like, they're starting on, like, points. So, like, Corey LaJoie, for example, was 13th in points last time NASCAR was going. He'll probably be starting 13th this upcoming week, this next week. So I don't know how they're gonna run it. It's gonna be different, for sure. I think that if they run, if they do qualifying, I think they should do like 6 feet apart and just let them guys qualify so they can like set the lineup properly. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have any answers for it, so I don't really know. But on today's show, we got a very special guest, Brian Calabrese. He is the driver of the number 21 Sportsman Modified at Fonda and Albany, Saratoga, and Glenridge. He will be racing. As soon as racing gets going, he'll be racing at Fonda. You'll see him in a red, white, and blue car. It's actually a very cool car. It's pretty cool to see his car, and yeah, we're gonna get him on the show. And voila. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Brian Calabrese. Hi Brian, how's it going?
How's it going? Good.
What have you been doing to stay healthy during this pandemic, to stay healthy and race ready?
Just working every day. I've been getting to the shop at 6 in the morning. I've been going home at 9 or 10. I just nothing's changed here.
Mm-hmm. Is you ready to get going as soon as possible to race?
Yeah, we got our Fonda cars in the trailer ready to go. We just gotta set it up. We have our Malta car. It's right behind me. It's on scales. Malta, our travel. Basically,
mm-hmm.
We're gonna have Fonda car down to Fonda, and then this car will be everywhere else.
Yeah.
So we're pretty much ready. I got a third car we're putting together for a spare, if we
mm-hmm.
go to short tracks or something. But
yeah, awesome. If racetracks were to open soon, how would you feel if they had no fans in the stands? And if they did have fans in the stands, how do you think they would how would they make it work for it?
I post stuff every night about it. It's tough. I mean, we just want to race.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there shouldn't be fans. I think that they, the way I think about it is like you Fonda, Albany, Saratoga. There's plenty of room to space people out. You could tape off seats, but then it might get kind of hard when everybody gets drinking a little alcohol. I don't know if everybody will follow the rules, and you could get in trouble. But I say if they can seat 2,000, you should be able to let 500 in without a problem, and then it's up to everybody that does it. So.
Mm-hmm. And then if they were to open, how do you think how for you as a driver in the pits aspect, how do you think they're gonna work that out?
Well, I don't always have 5 people, so if they allow 5 people, then I could make some serious money if somebody wants to pay me a little extra getting the pits. You know what I mean? That's why I was like, man, you're only gonna let so many people in. No, I was just joking, but yeah, I mean, if they do 3 or 4 people, I think that's great. They just need to let us race. We're racers. We want to race.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about this? Wait, hold on. How do you feel about the schedule changes because of all the postponements and everything so far?
Well, honestly, I haven't even looked at a schedule since this has been going down. I just waiting to get the word to go practice. We were going to go to Land of Legends last weekend, and they called it. We were getting all excited, and then we kind of got our hopes up. But I'm working as much as I can, and when racing starts, I'm going to race every chance I get. I don't care if it's 5 nights a week. I'm going racing.
So whereabouts are you going to be racing this year?
Well, our plan was Friday night was Albany Saratoga, Saturday was Fonda, and Sunday we were going to float around. Obviously, we'll always go to Devil's Bowl. They got a lot of big money shows, but if Fonda doesn't open up with the fair board and stuff like that, we'll pick a place to race full time on Sunday. And it would be Utica or Devil's Bowl. Utica's a lot closer. Devil's Bowl pays more money, but I can tell you right now, as a racer, I'm going to remember the first track that opens up, and they might win me over a little bit because if they step outside the box and get us racing, I'm going to remember that.
Where did your racing career start, and at what age?
I was in high school. I started racing lawnmowers. It's kind of embarrassing. Back in 2005, raced lawnmowers. I had a go-kart for one season. I raced it 3 times. I did not care for it. I started doing the lawnmower thing. They started getting really expensive, really powerful. They were kind of dangerous. I was never scared of them, but I wouldn't jump one now. And then I just jumped from that sportsman. When my first sportsman race on the Fonda, there was no rookies. I was shaking. I remember walking to the wall and turning 4, and I was just shaking. I never even put the car in gear before. And then, we went out and made the show that night. You used to have consies when I started, but that was in 2014. And then 2014, I raced half a season, and I spent a lot of money trying to learn the hard way, and I went broke and sold everything and took 15 off and came back in 16.
So what do you mean? What do you mean by racing lawnmowers? May I ask?
Well, pretty. There used to be there still is a racing lawnmower club around here. It's kind of died out, but you would take a lawnmower, and they had 3 or 4 different classes. I started out in the stock class when I was in school, and then I ended up I got in what they call a super modified, where basically it's a go-kart. It's a homemade go-kart, but you have a lawnmower and you have certain rules, and you go race at the go-kart tracks, and it's kind of, I don't like even talking about it anymore. It's kind of embarrassment, but that's where I started.
What is your favorite track and why?
This is tough. I have 2 favorite tracks, Malta and Fonda. I can't choose from one, but all I know is when you have success at one, that becomes your favorite track. I left Malta in 2018 after winning a 100-lap race. That was my favorite track. I struggled at Fonda. And then this year, we didn't win a race at Malta, but we came, we missed it a few weeks, and then we were in a handicap. We had a lot of top 5s, a couple seconds, couple thirds. And in Fonda, we won a couple races, and I got Fonda figured out last year. And Fonda was my favorite track, but right now Fonda is. But with the new clay and a surface, I'm not sure what to expect.
So you mentioned your Malta win. What was it like to win the Albany at Malta in that 100-lap race? Knowing that you were one of the underdogs to win that race, and nobody kind of expected, and then you pulled it off. What was that moment like?
Yeah, that was that's what changed my career. Larry was helping me, but that race really, made a lot of people look and think what I could do. And we didn't have new equipment, but it was unbelievable. I remember Hartman going off the turn, and I was running third, and I tell everybody this. I was just happy to be third. I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to get interviewed on the front stretch at Malta. It's like, wow, this is going to be awesome, And then when Hartman went off the corner, I'm like, oh, I'm guaranteed to get interviewed. I can lose a spot and still be interviewed. That's what was going through my head. And then with 11 laps to go, I'm like, oh my God, I'm catching them. And then it was just I just went back and everything for once in my life, everything slowed down inside the car. And I just started thinking about every way I lost a race once I took a lead. And I used that to win that race. When I felt like I could have passed Connor the lap before that, but if I wasn't able to pull up alongside of him, he would have came down and blocked me. So I lifted early going into 3, and so I knew the next turn I had him door to door, so he couldn't take my lane away. And it just all running through my head. And then when we hit lap traffic, there was no way I was going to stick my nose on the outside of lap traffic because who wants to go a lap down? So if you show somebody with 2 laps to go, you knows that they might drive in a little harder. The guy behind you, you don't know where anybody is. Yeah. I'm thinking right behind me. If I showed him a nose on the outside, he was going to drive in, slide up. The second place could have went right underneath him. So I was just trying to block the track as much as I can and control it. And as you know, you watch it play out, it kind of worked out good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many wins do you have to date in a sportsman?
I won 2 rookie races at Fonda, and I have 2 regulars at Fonda. I have 3 regulars at Fonda, 2 rookies, 2 at the Ridge, and 1 at Malta. And I have a non-winners race at Devil's Bowl.
Yeah.
So that, I don't know how you want to count them. If everybody adds them all together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 wins, in the sportsman card.
So you said 9 wins. So what's like, out of all those like races that you've won, all those races, which one is your favorite, most memorable win?
I remember them all, but I'm still waiting for the one that I'm going to remember forever, and that's when my daughter's there. I want to win a race with my daughter there so I can celebrate in victory lane with her. Last year, she started coming more, and we finished every time she was there, we finished second. Utica Rome, we finished second. She was there, So the Crate National race was huge, as big as that race was. But my first win at Fonda was over a protest. I won. I finished second. I won due to a protest, and so it really wasn't a win. You never got to celebrate anything. Yeah. But this year, that 100 lapper at Malta was probably the biggest. But this year at Fonda, getting that monkey off my back and being able to go out and celebrate in victory lane, not once but twice in a row, in back-to-back weekends, was unbelievable. And the competition's hard, but I feel like if I can, slow down a little bit more and get it calmed down, and we'll be winning more.
Yeah. On the other side of like the racing world, how have you been able to catch up on like any of the iRacing that's been happening on like TV? And have you done iRacing at all as a race car driver?
I have never done. I have no interest in iRacing. I watched the 2 NASCAR races, and then when the stuff happened with Kyle Larson, I stopped watching because everybody's at home. You know what I mean? Everybody says, not that what he said was right or wrong, but I have no interest. I'm not a video game guy.
Yeah.
I work and I go home and I watch TV until I fall asleep.
If you could race against any driver, past or present, dirt or asphalt, and you're gonna name a list if you have a list, who would it be and why? If Gordon, I would love to race against Jeff Gordon. I grew up, I was a huge fan of him. But that'll never happen. But, we race against some great people. At Devil's Bowl, when we got to race against Hearn, Fremont, Rocky, everybody, that's just to be in that field and make that show. And we struggle at Devil's Bowl, but we're going to get there. Yeah. Do you have a nickname?
Not really. Not that I know of.
Okay. Would you ever consider racing the dirt car series with like the modified someday?
If I had the money, if I had the support and the money, I would be all over it.
So, like, would you ever like do the Volusia Nationals, the Eldora race when the trucks are there?
Yeah, I wanted to go. It's not about me wanting to race. It's just any racer would do it if they could afford it. But I'm trying to run a business, and at that point, when you start racing like that, you're no longer gonna be able to run a business. You need to go racing. But I have, I would love to drive a modified and stuff like that, but I want to get a lot better where we're at before I think about it. I got to shake one down last year, and it was unbelievable. I ran the 200 with a crate, which I remember that. It is what it is. But the problem is with modified, I am competitive with a sportsman, and it costs quite a bit of money, and I got the backing right now to be good in sportsman.
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near able to take that next step with a modified.
So yeah, that makes sense. What is the best part of racing at Albany Saratoga for you?
you know, there's so many cars there. The competition, like I won all year last year. I mean, I ran decent up there, and I was a front runner, but I've never won a race last year up there. And the competition, you're always racing somebody, and I love turn 3 and 4 at Malta. It's like when my setup works, I can drive my car in and turn 3 wide open into black slick, and then just get her turned. And when I hit it perfect, we're going to the front, and we're getting there. My biggest thing, I'm trying to be more consistent. My garage floor isn't too level, but we're working on it. And I want to unload a car that's the same week in and week out.
Okay, that's probably a good, yeah. What is the best part of racing the Fonda for you?
Fonda, it's just a history. Fonda is with me is that's where I went when I watched racing. When I grew up, I always went to Fonda. I was never at Malta. I really didn't even know what Malta was. And Fonda was just a kid in the stands and a teenager, and just I've never in a million years would you think you'd win there. There's people that go their whole life and not win races, and I'm nowhere near great. There's a lot better, but to be able to go down there and win races is unbelievable, and it's just the atmosphere.
The history.
He really turned that place around this year. If there's no fans, it's gonna take away from it, I think. But we still want to race. I'm not sure what the answer is.
Yeah. What other hobbies do you enjoy besides racing?
Just work. I mean, anybody that knows me is I work all the time. I spend time with my daughter, and we work, and we spend time at the shop, and that's pretty much it.
Well, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for your time today. I appreciate it. I hope you have hopefully we get racing as soon as possible.
Well, I asked around today, and I kind of got my hopes up that there's going to be some practice somewheres, and I'm just hoping that within the next 14 days, you never know, maybe we'll be going somewhere.
Especially with the short track Super Series just announced tonight that they're going to return down in Carolina. Are you doing anything with the short track Super Series this year, by any chance?
No, I'm just. It's too hard for me to travel the distance to go. And here's the thing with you know what I mean? Dale was great. All them guys, they're awesome. They're doing a great show. But the problem is I have good support and stuff. But the Fonda tires, you can't to run that series has open tire rule. Fonda runs a different compound tire, so it's very hard. If I want to go to Afton or down to them speedways, you got to buy all different tires. You can't just go with your Fonda tires and be competitive. And that's the only downfall for someone like me is I'm not going to go spend the money for tires when I can race somewhere else with the Hoosiers and stuff like that. But if there was it's a possibility someday we might chase that. But just the years past, that's why we haven't, is because you got to run different tires. Just because we have American racers at Fonda, they're different compounds, and it really gets expensive.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. Thanks for your time today. I appreciate you coming and joining me today. I wish you good luck this season. Hopefully we'll get racing like you said. Thanks for being on. I appreciate it, and have a good rest of your week, and hopefully we'll see you on the track as soon as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Calabrese. He races at Fonda, Albany, Saratoga, and other tracks. You'll probably see him around. Thanks again for being on the show, and I appreciate you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yep.
Have a good evening.
You too. And that was Brian Calabrese, ladies and gentlemen. He will be racing at Fonda, Malta, and all those tracks this year. He's got a lot of big history in his career, and he started, like he said, he started lawnmower racing, and that's very interesting for a driver to be even mention something like that. It's pretty cool. And so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe. We're on the road to trying to get 100 subscribers. If we can get that goal, that's my goal for right now. If we can get to 100, I appreciate it. Please subscribe. That's all I ask. Like, comment, subscribe. I am your host, Brady Hauser. Thank you for being on the show today. if you're a race car driver and you're watching this, please email me at it's on my Facebook page, Instagram Brady Hauser 1, Snapchat Brady Michael 05, and Facebook Brady Hauser. Just search it, you'll find me. Thank you guys for being on, and thank you guys for coming and joining this show. More to come this week. Coming up in the next couple of days, we will have a big block modified driver, Keith Flack, going to be joining us. Plus, we got a whole bunch of other drivers that'll be racing at Fonda and more local tracks around Fulton County this year. I hope everybody's staying safe right now. Tough times. It'll get better. I promise you that. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a good rest of your week. I will definitely be posting more, so make sure you guys stay tuned. And make sure you remember, like I said, please like, subscribe, and comment. And I am your host, Brady Hauser, and thank you for watching. And I hope you all have a good weekend. Take care.